Bonk.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome all, welcome Arvanauts, welcome all and sundry to another session on a Sunday here of this game, Soundclash. I am very, very excited to have Soundclash the Clampdown with us, which is very cool. And I'm sorry for whatever the issue is that's going on. I don't fully get what's going on with the stream starting and then immediately stopping. It did this last night also once, and it's rock solid on my end, so I don't know what's going on with Twitch. I use the automatic setting, like I usually do, and maybe I need to figure out a way to kind of not have sort of, I don't know. Maybe I need to figure out a way to basically make it so it doesn't choose the New York server, because that's the problem right now. Who knows? But anyway, we are here and we are ready to go, and I hope everyone is here with me, and we are looking forward to what I hope is going to be some awesome times with the amazing and awesome Soundclash crew. Before we get there, just a couple of reminders about ways to support us here. If you haven't already done so, as I immediately go and check to make sure that I'm not losing anything. Good. That seems to be working. Good. If you haven't already done so, please make sure to follow us here on the channel. That is always appreciated. If you haven't done so, please consider checking out our YouTube with !arv2, where you can see past broadcasts of this and other streams. !arvcord is the Discord channel where you can hang out with the Arvanauts in between streams. The Twitter for this is !arvtweets, and so there's that going on. And of course, if you haven't already done so, any kind of things you need to find out about this channel, most of them can be found on my website, arvanelaron.com. On the financial side, !Arv Shop is the merchandise area where you can get stuff for my Infinity and Beyond crew and my Adventures of Middle-earth crew, soon to be Esper Genesis stuff over there as well. If you haven't already done so, please consider jumping on board to support us in the Patreon as well. !Arvtreon, currently sitting at 22 patrons, $2.39 per month. That's really kind of the financial backbone of the channel, and that's the thing that we would like to be able to continue to build upwards, so that I can do things such as, for example, pay for a different intro video for Soundclash, because I really want to have a different intro video that's more reflective of the theme of this particular game, and to do that, I need a little bit of the funds to make that happen. So that's one of the things that the Patreon is for, so any support you can give over there is appreciated. You can also get inspirations to help players in campaigns like this one, and so that is always a help, as is subbing to the channel, which allows you to get one of our custom sub badges and emotes to use across Twitch, and inspirations to help the players and all that good stuff. Finally, on the publishing side, !Icarus for details about the Icarus graphic novel coming out from Athos Arts on November 10th. I'm very excited about that. I'm going to be signing some hardcovers today, actually, for the Kickstarter backers and sending them back early next week to the wonderful people at Athos. So I am very much looking forward to having that retail release out on November 10th. Library is Tales and Tomes from the Forbidden Library, which is the 5e adventure sourcebook and adventure and sourcebook from Alligator Alley Entertainment that is coming out in print form extremely soon. I know I keep saying that everything with COVID just really delayed all of this, but it's finally come out on the other end, and we are finally getting to print things, and I cannot wait to hold it. Believe me, no one is more excited to have that in my hands than me, so I am very excited to have those out there. So we've got that going on, and then we also have !Grayshade KS for my Grayshade Kickstarter, which is launching February 2nd of next year, February 2nd, 2021, and that's going to be a very big deal, and I'm very excited about that. So more details about that to come. Finally, last but certainly not least, BLM, Black Lives Matter. We have talked quite a bit about this over the last few months. We'll continue to do so. This is a place where you can find resources about education, resources about learning more about political advocacy, and of course resources to donate to places that support Black Lives Matter. Vote Now is the Vote Now link where you can find details about where you can vote, be registered to vote. It's pretty late in the game now, so I hope everyone at this point who's a U.S. citizen is registered to vote and is ready to go, but you need to also make sure that you know where your polling places are and that you have a plan made, because this is a critically important election, easily the most important in my lifetime. This is really important, folks, so we need everybody on board, so click there to be able to find more details about where you can vote and making a plan to do so. And then the last thing I want to mention very quickly, I've been talking about this too, but because we have the person who is our GM for this is actually appearing in this anthology. I think it's appropriate to talk about this Athos Arts anthology in this moment. This is an antho which is, I think, a really important anthology, which is allowing people to express, particularly people of color and others, to be able to express issues of this moment. And so it's a very diverse anthology. There are trans voices here, gay and lesbian voices here, people of color, their voices are in here. And so there's a wide variety, and also a wide variety of content too, fiction, nonfiction, art, and various other things like that. This is an important anthology, and candidly, it needs a lot of help to get funded. It needs a lot more. And so people need to be able to jump on board if they are interested in supporting it, because it's only got 11 days to go. So I hope you will consider doing that. I think it's an important anthology. You all know how fond I am of Athos Arts. I think it's a really good press, and I think this is a really good and important anthology that's really documenting a particularly charged moment in history. And I think it's important that we throw our support behind projects like that than we can. So again, that link will bring you over to that Kickstarter, and hopefully we can get some more people to jump on board, because a certain person that I'm about to introduce, Brandon O'Brien, will be found in this as well. Schedule-wise, we've got Soundclash the Clampdown going on right now, and then tomorrow evening at 7 p.m. Eastern, we have Sod with a Grumbler's Guide to the Temple of Elemental Evil, and then a very busy week to come, but I'm not going to go through all of it. Just know that we've got more stuff coming tomorrow night, and so I hope you will all be here for that. With that said, I am now going to unmute myself and apologize profusely for interrupting folks in the call whom I can't hear, and tell them that it's not because I don't love all of them, because they're wonderful people. And then I'm going to unmute them, and I'm going to move over to show all of you in the chat the amazing Soundclash the Clampdown crew, although it appears we might be missing one of the Clampdown people. Is that? Oh, I see. No, we're not. Not at all. No one is missing at all. In fact, everyone is exactly where they need to be, as you can see. And if you'll just give me a moment.
It's fine. It seems that my...
I'll get it. It's there. Hold on. I'm just moving things around.
Not a problem at all.
Don't adjust your TV set. This is all going to be there in just a moment. No, get over there. No, get over there. See, this is the problem.
It seems that...
leader.
Haha! No, not quite. Not quite.
We've all gotten to be the leader.
Up there, get up there. Oh,
well,
Zoom.
My reign wasn't very long. I'm cool with the changes I made and the people I fired.
Let's see. There we go. Now I think I have everyone in the right spots. Oh man, yeah, that Arvad placement. Anyway, it's good to see everyone here, and as you can see, we have the wonderful Soundclash crew ready for another couple of hours of enjoyment as the song develops and the plot thickens, as they say. And I'm going to hand things over to Brandon O'Brien. Just before I do that, though, I do want to mention, remember everyone, next month, November 22nd, Brandon and I will be participating in a big fundraiser for this very show, for Soundclash the Clampdown. It will be a one-day only fundraiser on this channel. It will consist of multiple cool games that are being GM'd or played in by Brandon. It will consist of, we'll have incentives and things like that. And the idea is to get a little bit of money together so that I can put together a video that doesn't just show me, but rather features the Soundclash people with appropriate music of the Soundclash, this particular Clampdown variety. I think that's important, and we need, we need more headbanging, I think, clearly, in the sort of lead into this. So we're going to be doing that next month, so please mark your calendars for that, November 22nd. I am excited to see how that goes. Now, having spoken far too much, I'm going to hand things over to a good friend and amazing GM, Brandon O'Brien, to introduce the rest of the crew. Everyone have a wonderful session. Brandon, floor is yours.
Thank you for giving me the floor. I will cherish the floor greatly. But hi, everyone. Thanks for joining us for another episode of Soundclash the Clampdown. We have just returned from a break. We didn't have an episode our last fortnight, so everyone's very eager to get back into it. I do just want to reiterate, as Greg previously mentioned, that next month on the 22nd of November, we'll be having a fundraiser event to spruce up the presentation of Soundclash the Clampdown, and it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm not only looking forward to what we will be able to do with that kind of, with your kind of assistance, to make this stream so much better. But I'm really looking forward to that fundraiser event in particular. We have a lot of cool games planned. We have a great deal of very fascinating and engaging guests, and I'm really looking forward to spending several hours just having fun with you all. So I am Brandon O'Brien. I'm the stage manager of this campaign of Soundclash, the Clampdown. And I would like very much to begin by introducing everyone else, by having everyone tell us who you are and what you do, beginning with Valeria.
Hey guys, good evening. My name is Valeria Villavicencio, and of course, you guys see me here as Ava Perone, your punk rock mom, ready to fight fascists. And of course, you can also see me on my podcast, Kingdom Hearts Forgotten Era, as well as Off the Table, every other Wednesday, for a Monster of the Week campaign run by Russ Wild.
Thank you very much. Next, Nathan.
Oh, okay, I'm going second. Cool. Hopefully my connection will remain stable throughout. It seems that at midnight my connection flickers a little bit. Local services. Hi, hello. I am a big titty Ojo Summer in the smooth Nubian body you see before you, Nathan Blades. I do a variety of loud gay trash on the internet, but for now you will see me perform as Oliver Hoshizora, anime protagonist and theremin playing sad boy.
Nice. Next, Katie.
Hello, everybody. I'm Katie Chin, she, her pronouns, and I'll be playing River Song, your glowing embers of rhythm, hoping and helping her new family as best she can. Student by day, and who knows what she does by night. I don't think any of you know. Maybe I know. I'm not going to tell you right now.
Okay, duly noted. And last but not least, Amr.
Hi, I'm Amr Amaraz. I use they, she pronouns, and I will be playing Nahmat El Kalb, who also uses the same pronouns. And she is everyone's favorite person who says, hey, you know those weird noise Cthulhuan portals? We should study those. Nothing bad can happen from that, I'm sure.
And so far, nothing bad has happened.
Nothing bad has happened at all. I don't know why you would say that.
Yeah, it's not like the recap of the last few episodes begins with pointing out that a noise portal broke out in an apartment building, sent all of its inhabitants running out into the street, and then immediately afterward, the police came and just arrested a random citizen. Yeah, not bad at all.
That wasn't the fault of the studying, though. The studying helped us close it. See?
That is true. But as we get into our session tonight, it bears noting that I need to open with an apology both to my players and to the audience for one minor thing, which is Soundclash, being based on Blades in the Dark, uses very similar systems to Blades in the Dark, including the position and effect that is added to every die roll for every action that you attempt to perform. But I only just realized that I've been forgetting to include those things on several character action rolls for the past few sessions, which has made doing XP difficult because desperate rolls are necessary to gain XP, which I've rectified in this game by just giving all of the players 2 XP upon all of the other XP bonuses that they've already gotten for their various character actions.
I thought you were going to say
this blessing.
to balance it out, all of the actions this time are going to be desperate, no matter how trivial.
Oh God! No matter how flippant the action is, suddenly you are acting desperately at all times. That would be a
Yes.
lot. That would be a
For
lot.
the
Like,
XP.
but yes, we've rectified that issue, as well as doing a great deal of other XP work off screen, which is what allows me, among other things, to point out that Nakmat has gained a new ability. Would you like to speak about that ability?
Yes, I will in precisely 2 seconds as soon as I pull it up because I did not write it down onto my sheet. But yeah, I leveled up, put all my XP into Playbook Advancement, and picked up a new special ability, which um, allows. All right, let me start with what it's called. It is called Sweet Talk. Attempts to direct, mingle, or sway someone with power or authority gain increased effect.
Which will be very useful considering all of the interactions that you've already had in previous episodes.
Yeah.
It also bears noting that Katie's character, River Song, has 1 point of Moxie that I'm making sure to note, because Moxie gives you all kinds of unique benefits whenever you spend one. That will become very useful at a later point whenever you decide that that will be useful. They're particularly useful for roles, so you will, if things do at some point become desperate, that will be very, very useful. So with that, I think we can get into the action of this first session, which, if I'm not mistaken, brings you all back to Ava's apartment immediately after Ava's very curious day at school, where the vice principal has been unnecessarily bitter about Ava's popularity for justifiable but still very weird reasons. So Ava has now gathered you back to the apartment building, and I'm going to imagine at this point either that the rest of you are on your way or are about to meet each other at the door and ascend the elevator to Ava's floor. Which one is more likely? Which gives you the ability to do things that you would like to do?
Well, we all started at the coffee shop. I would imagine. Oh wait, did that happen at the beginning of the day? Is this later in the day?
I'm yeah, that this message was sent at the during the afternoon, around, like, if I'm not mistaken, school had not even ended by the time that message was sent.
I think
So
it
I'm going
was
to just
explicitly early morning, like because she got called in first, and it was while River and Oliver were having their morning coffee, like as they were meeting up, right?
but Ava would still be in school, obviously. So so I guess what is more useful as a result is anyone doing anything before they go there then?
Just school.
Yeah, I think it's just school under
I
this
am being
instance.
a very normal student.
I'm sure.
And
In
doing
a
school
normal
things
student
at the
actually
school
being
that I
in
attend.
school.
At the school that I attend.
The school that you attend in the cave at the bottom of the lake.
No, at the actual school building. When it's open. This is where I
Do
go.
you
to,
sit
like,
in? Do you sit in lectures that you don't pay for?
No, I don't do lectures. I go to the school to use the labs that I don't pay for.
Okay.
Fair enough.
I need to borrow some of the labs.
I mean, despite there being a, oh, sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, despite there being a normal day of school, I think this entire time, and probably for most of the other people involved as well, the tiny obsidian pyramid that we picked up from the portal is burning a hole, figuratively at least, I hope, only figuratively and not literally, in Oliver's pocket as they go through the day, not having the chance to have tinkered with it yet. So they're kind of looking for the opportunity to have the free time to actually give that a prod. but right now is not that time.
Yeah, I have that
So
time.
yeah, I think pretty similar to River, normal school day.
Okay.
I would probably be looking at both my notes from what I saw when I looked at the noise portal and the shards that we got. Trying to make use of the school materials before anyone notices I shouldn't be there and yells at me to get out. And then I do it again tomorrow, but that's,
I would like for you to roll 1d20 for me.
Oh, just a flat D20.
I gotta open Roll20.
Yeah, same.
Yes. a 1d20 fortune roll. Because if you're not trying to get caught, that means I need to determine if you're going to get caught.
Yeah, okay. Let's go ahead and roll that. And my Roll20 froze. I'm gonna roll that outside Roll20 for a second, since
Understood.
and then hopefully Roll20 will be unfrozen by the next. Oh, never mind. Cool.
Okay. Because I was about to tell you that you would be on your honor if you had to roll outside of Roll20.
17.
17 is good. You almost remarkably, Nakmat, you have the run of not only the lab that you're testing in, but the whole floor. For whatever reason, no one is busy at this hour of day, which is typically unlikely for this floor at this time. But yeah, you have like about an hour of uninterrupted time to observe your notes and observe all of the other material that you have on you.
Perfect.
So what are you going to do then?
I mean, I think using the various instruments, both musically and scientifically available to me in these labs, I would like to examine the crystal, try to get some sort of response, figure out what it does naturally on its own, if it reacts to anything, that kind of thing.
Okay, that would require a roll of some sort. What role would you like to use? What action would you like to take?
I think it's probably a study. I could also see Tinker. Both are the same for me, but
yeah. Because it is the business of attempting to discover something about something and not make something out of something, I think study makes more sense, but they're both the same. So that's so before I forget, I should state position and effect. Your your position is risky.
Ooh.
Because you've never dealt with this material before and you have no idea what it might do.
That makes sense.
And your effect is standard.
Cool.
And you can roll a d12 or d20 plus 2.
Nechmet would roll a d20 here. So we're rolling a d20.
Okay.
Okay, that is an 8.
An 8, if I'm not mistaken, is a minor success.
Correct.
So it doesn't blow up. That's good. You don't notice any visible change in any of its states. You do notice that a thing that you are noticing now, because you are actually visibly observing it rather than just like having it on your person, is that it's like pure black on all sides, but it responds to sound, any sound at all, by gradually like introducing light that seemingly seems to come from within. And like as you're observing it more closely, it looks like on it from the inside, it's actually incredibly multifaceted, has so many like different interlocking facets that it seems on the inside to actually be much bigger and much more complex than it
Oh,
is in its actual size.
really?
But you don't gain any information one way or another about how or why it responds to sound.
Cool. All right.
It just looks pretty, I guess.
I guess that'll do for now. I mean, Nekma will keep like probably continue on like this for the rest of the day. I don't think we need to go into more details, but that's probably what they're up to.
Okay. Is anyone else up to anything else before you all meet with Ava?
I'm good. Let's party.
Yep, I would think we would all walk there together just because we have a text chain and we're all coming from university. So
Mhm.
why not go together?
I mean, if you all got the message, then it is perfectly possible that the rest of you decided to meet somewhere in particular and move as a unit. Is that the university?
That seems pretty sensible.
Yeah.
After all,
I like to think, yeah.
Mhm.
After all, what?
I was going to say, after all, we all go to this university, right?
Mm-hmm.
So there's no reason why we wouldn't be able to meet up outside the university and get the bus. Whether that means that one of us ends up having to do a bit of a mad dash to make it to where they're supposed to be on time, who knows? But
I ran into no interference at the lab, so I get there from inside the university perfectly on time.
Mm-hmm.
the
I was
perfect.
gonna
scroll
say,
up.
I like to think that we all met up at one of those abstract type statues that always exist in a university.
Oh God. Because like now I'm imagining that statue. So this school this university is unnecessarily big in certain ways, like to the point where the campus itself has a main road and has internal shuttle systems just to get you from one edge of the campus to the other, not including all of its satellite premises all over the surrounding blocks around the actual main campus. And one of those shuttle stops is right next to this very large kind of it's supposed to be a roundabout, but no cars ever drive there. So at some point, literally during your school year, they just paved what was supposed to be road and just turned it into a quadrangle with a central water fountain. And the water fountain itself is not like mermaids or any other kind of particularly easily understandable ornate image, but this weird kind of abstract expressionist cube shape. Like it's just a weird assortment of cubes that just have holes in them in random places where water just kind of spurts out. It doesn't seem like it doesn't seem like water naturally or perfectly flows anywhere within it. It just feels like water just collects in it and bursts in random directions. It's really frustrating. People don't like standing there because you are bound to get wet, but that's where shuttles from the main entrance to all of the external campuses stop to pick up students, and that's where external buses pick up students who are traveling outside of campus. So you have no choice but to get wet. So
And
if
it's
you're meeting,
called
you're
the
meeting
Rock
there.
Candy Fountain.
Oh God, that's what it's called. So you're all at the Rock Candy Fountain. The actual bus stop, there is like a very short, very like a bench that is unnecessarily short for adults to sit on and doesn't have space for like three people. It like only comfortably seats two, but the billboard behind the bench is a normal billboard size, and it's a billboard for a brand of like government issue toothpaste, and it reads like it's very basically it says something like toothpaste, it's for your mouth. Like just like has random people smiling around it for no reason. The finest print, if you lean all the way into it, is like um using this in ways that is like if you don't use it in the proper prescribed way, you actually have the potential to lose teeth. So yeah.
Oh, there's so many memes for that on the internet that exists in this world. Then just the fact that it's for your mouth, that font is all over a bunch of stuff.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. There are there are like TikToks of that billboard where like students just stand and like put their cameras all the way to the faces of those smiling people and just chant teeth, teeth, teeth into their microphones.
Yeah, the format of blank, it's for your mouth, is definitely exploited on a pretty regular basis. I also like the fact that because this statue sprays water everywhere, and this is maybe the singular structure where you are maybe shielded from that, that there are only seats for 2 people is, I think that counts as hostile architecture.
Yeah, definitely. It's that way for a reason.
Hey, maybe the fountain statue is not so bad in summer, but any other time it's kind of miserable. Anyway,
so I think what makes sense action-wise in this instance is that Nakhmat is now meeting Oliver and River at the rock candy fountain.
Nakhmat, you made it. Great. How was your day? How was your day? What did you get up to?
She just smiles, and like I feel like she's leaning against one of these rocks that are definitely like spraying her sporadically, but she does not care. She's putting on I got here first because I was on campus. This is just like, oh, it was wonderful. I went to the labs and I got a lot of research done on my projects.
That tracks. Oliver does not add more.
So we gonna go? Bus leaves soon.
Yeah.
Yes.
The fountain is for squares, anyways.
Absolutely. Well, I guess this is going to be, I guess, another opportunity for us to all hang out. I guess there's maybe going to be another jam session today, of sorts. It was kind of fun to do that last time.
So I'm going to say that a bus pulls in just at that at that point. For the purposes of making sure you can all sit together, the back row is totally empty.
Hey, go immediately to the back of the bus. Play music on the phone at max volume. Absolutely. I love to be that specific 2000s era university / high school student where it's kind of like, no, the back of this bus is now our territory. Absolutely. If you're not here for the latest jams we've downloaded off the internet, played on our phones at max volume, why are you even in this zone? Get lost. This is the vibe. Actually, what is the current song to play on your phone at max volume in tinny annoyingness at the moment? What's the current hotness?
I mean, that's the thing, right? The government mandated songs that are playing right now are all like very twee bubblegum pop. You have like a handful of like alternative tracks. Maybe a couple hip hop songs make it through.
I would think they're playing a whole bunch of Mini Blue over and over right now.
I mean, right now there is a kind of musical renaissance in terms of Mini Blue. Kind of like out of nowhere, her music just kind of popped back up. But like there hasn't been much there obviously isn't any new Mini Blue for quite some time, so it's just like the hits. So yeah,
a solid like Michael Jackson moment where the top 40s became specifically that for the year. that he passed, so it's kind of resumed into public consciousness. Unless I've got my timeline wrong, where mini blue passing was something that happened at the start of our campaign, but was that like a flashback or was that more recent?
That was a flashback. That was
right.
quite
My
some
bad.
years ago. Yeah.
In that case, maybe not. But
No,
yeah,
like
also
it's
maybe
still mini blue.
Renaissance.
Like, come on, it's still
I
mini
feel
blue.
like every like half decade or so, he just comes back around. Like someone decides to like, hey, you remember Mini Blue? And then everyone like suddenly has like a Mini Blue period for like a few months to a year, and then
Yeah. And I will say, like, around like Soundclash seasoning any individual hex, some radio station DJs will go, nothing that's going to happen in this clash is going to be good. Remember Mini Blue? This is what real music sounded like. So, yeah. Because, like, I'm going to say that Mini Blue is playing on the radio on the bus right now, but the radio is actually kind of low. So, like, it's not dominating the sound of the bus.
I do want at least one shot of River sitting on one of the side seats, looking out the window as our anime opening scene plays, so that we pan off into the sky as a feather also is flying for some reason.
I love a good aerial establishing shot of the city, especially if we then zoom back in again at the same bus stop just outside Ava's apartment. Because Oliver took the bus the first time, and then like Super Sentai hero rolled out of the bus to run up the stairs. So I guess that bus stop being immediately outside is still within universe canon. So I guess we'll pull up there.
So I'm gonna say then that you all eventually emerged from the bus at this bus stop. And before
did we see you roll out of the bus last time?
You might have actually saw me roll out of the bus.
Because then River is going to say, so we're approaching the stop. Do you want to hop out right before this? Or are you going to take the easy route?
Yeah, I don't feel especially compelled to take the stairs up this time. Ava's apartment is on something like the 5th floor. That was a lot of running.
Yeah, what floor was the noise portal? The noise on? Like
4th or something, I think.
Yes, it was below Ava, if I recall correctly.
I feel like Nakamat gives a like casual lean back shrug and looks at Oliver. Oh, you counted? I barely even noticed the floors.
God.
It's well, it's good to keep aware of your own surroundings, Nakamat, lest you trip into something.
River. There is some
looking back and forth.
Do you think that you are getting an impression about the way that your two friends are interacting, or do you want to roll to get an impression of their interaction?
To roll.
Yes, what would you like to roll?
I mean, that would be observe, wouldn't it?
It would. Which I do not
observe.
think you have any points in. Which means
no
that you will roll 2d20. And don't roll yet, because I haven't given position effect. You will take the spicier roll, which is always the lower roll or the roll that strains, whichever one happens first. But your what is your position? It's not risky.
This is pretty controlled, huh? Nobody's
dying. Yeah,
I was gonna blow up. I was like,
does something emotionally hostile happen? No, it's controlled and standard.
Rolling some dice. Boop. Ooh.
Right, so that's a 19 and a 6.
Which means, yeah.
The 19 strains. Making emotional situations complicated is both very easy and requires a great deal of finesse. So, what I'm going to say in this moment is that as this conversation is happening, you like obviously are noticing a thing, and then your phone rings.
As she like goes to look at her phone, she also just kind of like points at the two of you back and forth, like I keep doing with my hands, and go like, "Is this gonna be a thing?" And then she looks at her phone.
It's your mother.
Ooh.
I need to take this. You can go on ahead if you want.
Sure. I think when you say, "Is this going to be a thing?" Nachmat and Oliver simultaneously say, "What thing?"
What? Yeah, exactly.
She nods
Okay.
like, "Okay." Swipe.
We can wait for you. It'll be perfectly fine. We won't kill each other until you get here. Don't worry.
Okay. She moves away
Okay.
a few steps.
So before this conversation starts, what is your relationship like with your mother?
Pretty distant. Like, it's we well, I don't. But just my brain. Um, we chat like every other week as she catches up. Like I call both my parents. It's kind of like Raj from The Big Bang Theory. They're on screen every so often, but I don't visit them very often. Maybe once or twice every year for Thanksgiving and Christmas, which means there's long stretches where we don't see each other except for online.
Okay.
So not very much nuance, just like maybe family gossip and how I'm doing in school so that she can tell the friends she hangs out with what her child's up to.
Okay. Since that's established in particular, that element of gossip, do you have siblings?
I like to think I have one sister younger than me who's in business school.
Business school is good. Overachievement is always valuable drama. So that means that this conversation literally starts before you even say hello, before there is any audible evidence that your mother knows that you have actually answered the phone. Your mother says very like excitedly, "Have you heard about your sister?"
Hi, Mom. Not recently? Not since our last call. It's something up?
This wonderful thing happened. Apparently she was working on a business project for some competition that some government bigwig was trying to do, and she just won an award. That's so nice, right?
Yeah. I'm sure she would have told me the next time we chatted.
Well, I mean, she seems like always so very busy, obviously. I mean, you seem very busy too. Um, I guess that it's just that she is still living closer, so she gets to share these stories with us all the time. But it's so nice, right? Like it's such a big medal. Like it's as big as my head. Like she's doing so well in her business stuff. I think it's really neat that she's always applying herself all the time, even though she hasn't graduated yet. The host of the competition even said that her idea could easily make a Fortune 500 company out of the box if she wanted to. That's so nice, isn't it?
Yeah, that's nice, Mom. You know there's a lot of awards in music too, right? I'm still in school. It's better to focus on my studies before I can go out and get a big medal for the family.
I mean, I understand. I know that you're doing the academic music thing, and I know that those music crashes or whatever they call them probably aren't your thing.
Clashes.
Yeah, whatever they call. Um, but like, I just wish that you. And this is where she says it. I just wish that you'd be like more like your sister sometimes.
Okay, well, um, I'll work on it. I guess.
Are you
Gee,
getting along with any of your classmates? Because I keep hearing all of these stories from like the handful of friends that you still have that you've been having problems interacting with people on campus.
I mean, a lot of group projects, they don't assign groups anymore, and a lot of people are formed groups, and I wouldn't want to intrude on their group dynamics. I can get through most of it on my own anyways. Like then I get to just experience all the aspects of a project anyways. It's better for your education to do it alone sometimes or most of the time.
But only when you can. Sometimes you need to ask for help. Your sister isn't afraid to ask for help. She asks me for help all the time.
Uh, I don't I don't want to be a bother for anybody. They can just people have their own problems. I'm doing fine on my own, Mom.
Um, as you're having like that experience of like fighting for words to respond, you hear on the phone the sound of something popping, and then the sound of something popping again, and then you hear like dozens of people cheering on the other side of the phone, and then you hear the phone like shuffle against something, and then your mother says, I'm really sorry, but we have to go. A thing is, I hope you're doing well. Please call us. And before you get to reply, she hangs up the phone.
Uh, River sighs. She like only ceremonially touches the hang up button because the call's already dropped. Her back's still turned to the other two, so she collects her thoughts, which are a jumble of like, they didn't tell me there was some reason to be cheering in the background at her parents' house. But she has a meeting she needs to get to, so she takes a deep breath and turns around. It's like, it's just my mom. We can go upstairs now.
Um, I think Nagma will like take a second to be like, "Are you good? Do you need anything?"
Oh, it's no trouble. It's good news. My sister got an award. It's
Oh,
good for yeah, my parents let me know my sister's doing well.
ah,
I'm doing well too.
ah.
It's all
It was
fine.
that kind of conversation, huh?
Yikes.
That. Ugh.
We can
I'd say something. I don't really know what to say. I don't have a sibling, so but I hear it can be a bit of a rough time when it comes to uh, that kind of contest, a different kind of contest from the ones we'd be trying to get into, I suppose, huh?
I'm not gonna begrudge my sister for doing well.
Oh
She's
no, it doesn't
she
sound like
she
she's
found
being
her
rude.
own thing. This is my
Hmm.
thing.
Yeah.
Unless
She's in
she is
business.
sending snide texts on the phone to you or what have you, then I don't think that she's necessarily the one to be mad at, huh? But as long as you're okay, I guess.
It has been a while. I should get in contact with her again. It would be great to catch up. Uh, like my parents both left us to our own devices once it was time for us to go to university.
Hmm.
So teach us how to be independent. It's good.
I just want to ask a question very quickly. Are you having this conversation while on the move, or
I
have you
assume
still?
we're in the lift, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I assume we're gonna enter the like right now, so that if I can drop into the scene.
Cool. Um, so I'm just gonna say then that you have now come out on the fifth floor.
Mhm.
Ava, are you waiting inside or outside?
So when they arrive to the fifth floor, there is like the distinct sound of like some crashing noises.
Hmm.
Like some like a little bit of cacophony. Um and so, but I believe that you guys would have gotten a text probably closer to when the workday ended of like, come on in, the door is going to be unlocked.
Okay.
Oh, well,
So you emerge on the floor and they hear like the loudest of noises.
did she get into an argument with her daughter, or?
Sounds like a lot of crashing.
I'm gonna call not opening the door first.
I guess Oliver knocks on the door politely and then realizes that that's not actually going to carry noise-wise at all, and then knocks much harder.
I'm gonna say then that what happens is the door like kind of creaks open and then suddenly like is pulled wider and you can see Andrea with headphones on, rolling her eyes very frustratedly as she silently ushers you all inside, closes the door behind you, and then goes back to her room.
On the way, I wave to Andrea because we're friends now.
She gives you a kind of salute on her way to the bed, on her way to her room.
So what's going on?
When you guys step in further, in that living room area where you guys had watched the news before, there is a really old, beat up drum kit, and Ava is just working out some frustration on that. She is like crashing on some snares and like slamming her foot on on the beat pedal. I forget what it's called.
The kick drum, right?
Kick drum, yeah, the kick pedal. And like I think she finally sort of becomes aware that there are like eyes on her, and like she sort of like stops and then looks back at all of you and then sort of like, I was worried it'd be the neighbors.
Well, I suppose it's good that it's not. How I want to ask how you're doing. I guess we could guess from. And he just trails off. He doesn't finish the sentence, but it's I don't know how you are.
Yes.
Just yeah, you good.
Something needs to be done after what happened the other day.
Okay, I was going to ask something to be done about what? That makes sense. Start.
That was a very ominous pause.
We closed the noise portal.
I think it's more about the police presence stuff. I'm guessing.
You got it in one, Oliver. It's nice.
Yay.
She's sort of gonna like put her drumsticks down and head over to her small kitchen table, and she's gonna look at the rest of you guys, and she's gonna be like, "You guys are all musically inclined. Have you ever thought about entering a Soundclash?"
I mean, it's not like I've not considered it. It's just, they're fun to watch on stream. You get me? I playing the instrument. We played instruments casually and with lessons and stuff, and that's fun. And then you watch other people do it really, really well on the internet, and then you're like, oh, I could do that. That's really inspiring. And then you practice, and then you realize you're not as good as the people on the internet, and then you consider your life choices. Ha ha ha. So I don't think I'm good enough to be real with you, but I've considered it.
It's within the realm of possibilities. Plus, it's not just about talent. It's about synergy between a band.
Yeah, that's true. Good point.
With the right group and a piece chosen to complement our strengths, our being the hypothetical our, not specifically us, but rather the our in this case of a group, that group can beat any group of individually more talented musicians.
As the cash prize looking better and better these days.
$1 million for the one coming to town.
That is pretty soon.
Yeah, I think this is probably public information about the reconfirmation that it's an $1 million prize. There is a kind of like, the shock line that goes through somebody in profile and like, and then echoing in Oliver's head, $1 million, dollars. Oh, it's that much, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty big figurative medal.
I guess, dramatic irony. We don't know why you framed it that way, but no, that's definitely a lot of kudos. Oh, speaking of money, how did oh gosh, I forgot his name, and I feel terrible about that. But the brothers that we ran into the other day, and
Derek.
How's he doing? Did that like bail money do any good?
I haven't heard from him since he went to go sort of check in on his brother. I was going to check on him today. But I kind of want to bring this back. I'm going to make a band to enter this Soundclash. The confrontation that happened the other day has now put my family at risk, and that's my fault for losing my temper. But I can't just play drums on a stage. There was something harmonious and interesting yesterday. Yesterday, right? The day before?
It would have been yesterday. Yes, that was like the weekend before this school day that you are now having this conversation.
And I think if we refine that sound, I think that'd be easier than going to go hold tryouts for people. It's $250,000. I'm unsure what you all would do with your cuts, but that would keep my daughter from being on the street if I were to be disappeared.
Yeah, I think we need to roll back the talk of disappearing a little. I recognize you're worried, but I don't think you're in that much danger. But I do agree that it might be useful to have. And so I'm not saying it's a bad idea. I'm just saying perhaps not to doomsday so much. I'm sure you'll be fine.
I'm willing to join if everyone else is.
Oh, yeah. I guess I was thinking about, well, I don't know if you're aware, Ava, and Oliver kind of like pulls up on Discord one of the memes that you've obviously seen at this point, but Oliver's not cognizant of that. You've become popular as of late.
Yeah, that's why I'm not thinking that this is some catastrophizing. Nothing. I was pulled aside by my supervisor at school. There have been inquiries into me. And while it's nothing serious now, I'm an academic. You hear all the time about your fellows being dragged out of academia for questioning the normal. I'm a history teacher. Do you know how many books people have tried to save from the government with things that you have not been taught in school? Things that I could get arrested for just mentioning. I need to secure something. And I think that while we don't know each other that well, I think that there's a foundation we can build on here.
I mean, how when you go and see a portal torn through space-time to another world that tends to bring people together, I suppose. Well, that joke fell flat. Great.
Well, hopefully our
So
music won't. So, speaking of, I guess
Oliver, I think, breaks character for like a fraction of a second, with like a micro expression of like you're going to die one day, and
Wow.
and then goes back to the kind of attitude that they were running before. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
but yeah, it does look like there's an hour. And hey, I mean, River, this would be a cool thing for you to be able to call home about. And Oliver, you can do it for whatever reason you do things, I guess. Um, uh, but she I forget what I like to say. And Oliver, I mean, you might not think it, but you did a pretty good job with the ferryman back in during the incident yesterday.
Yeah, well, there's a weird gulf, I think, between the stuff that you can do when I'm not going to say that there was no pressure in doing it then, but there's expectations, I think, of people when you're performing on a grand stage, and that takes practice. But what better way to practice than by forming a band, I suppose. I know that I'm sounding really reticent, but to be honest, this is actually kind of exciting. If it wasn't off the back of, a police miscarriage of justice, I could have probably done without that angle of it. But
I'm
And
not sure if an influx of cash would be something that would protect you. Sure, being in the public eye for a competition would be good, but once we're out of the spotlight, there's nothing keeping anything from dragging us away per se. Do you really think that we can be safe with all of this, Ava?
I don't. I think if there is the sort of, how would I say it? How do you say this? If there's the sort of look of professionalism versus friendship when it comes to the Soundclash, I think that you guys can be safe, be made safe by denouncing me if things come to that. Come to that. However, $250,000 wouldn't be more for protecting me. It'd be more for making sure my daughter would have something in worst case scenario, as well as protecting this community here.
Does she know about this plan?
As that question is asked, Andrea walks back out of from her bedroom. Now that the drumming has stopped, you can all hear that on her head. What she's listening to through her headphones is like the loudest, most abrasive, like somewhere between black metal and noise rock. It sounds from the outside. It sounds like from the outside, like something between putting a large knife in a blender and two tractors getting in a fist fight. And like she's just walking out like she's on her phone very eagerly doing something. I'm going to correct me if I'm wrong at this point, that her entering the scene is going to cause all of you to look at her.
I mean, I guess, yeah.
Oh yeah.
I feel like there's a follow along.
Oh, actually, you know what? Ava's probably so used to this that she's probably like eyes on River and shaking her head like.
Well,
Because like, so she pauses and like literally like moves one side of her headphones and goes, "Okay,
hey, how was school
Hi.
today?
Good. What's happening?"
We're having a conversation. Is that name of band I hear?
That's the name of the band. Is name of band.
Name of band.
Oh, that's
Oh,
very
no.
good.
Quiz
It's
name
in
of
square
band.
brackets.
It's that meta.
What's the name of this band? I wonder.
It's name of band.
I know.
Please.
As funny as that would be, it would not like it does not suit hair. It does not suit hair.
Let me think.
What is name of
Namea
band?
Banad.
Name of band in German.
Oh God, we're really going to. Wow.
I kind considering how aggressively like tinnitus-inducing this song is. I like that. With you mentioning it in German, there it's called like Schadenfreude or something. The both and in terms of like lyric choice of it being quite parodic and self-aware, but also the band is entirely aware that it is probably causing both parents to shake their heads in frustration, and that brings them a lot of joy, hence the band name. Like it's a band very almost considering the personality of your kid, Ava, specifically designed to piss off one's parents.
Oh, probably.
Mhm.
I'm actually curious about something else in German, so we'll do that.
Oh.
No.
That's disappointing. The word for explosion in German is explosion.
Ah.
I guess that makes it accessible to English fans. Like,
But that's what I'm going to do. So the name of the band is The Explosion. If only because people will still look at it and say that the name of the band is Die Explosion. And the name of the song that she's listening to is You Are Already Dead.
Oh my mama, she did.
She looks at you and goes, yeah, The Explosion. It's not like it doesn't play on the radio, but like I have some friends who can help me find things whenever I want to find things.
Oh yeah, they're pretty good, and I have some, and like I was about to like say I can send you another one of their like albums your way, then realizes Ava is in the room and just says and cuts herself off mid-sentence.
It was just got that parent like she's like trying to mitigate some sort of headache by like rubbing the bridge of her nose.
So she turns to you now, Ava, and is like, now that you've stopped, can I ask about the drumming, Ma?
You know, I used to be in band when I was younger.
The definitive word being younger. Also, ow. That was like a lot. What brought this on then?
You know, I just had a rough day at work. That's all, sweetie.
My teachers just drink wine, but okay, I guess.
You want your ma to be an alcoholic?
Oh no, but I don't want to be a noise complaint either.
But hey, it's definitely memorable, right?
If I remember anything, like she's gesturing at her head.
That's actually So, River, you said something earlier about how to. I can't remember the specific phrasing, but it was kind of about talking about the reason why, or how the reason why we would be wanting to get into a band in the first place, and then having that be a safety net on the other side. Oliver is specifically kind of not going into finer details because part of the conversation of the why we
is in the room.
That
part of the conversation is literally raising an eyebrow.
Yeah, River was
being a Soundclash.
Ava looks terrified because she's just like, why? Like in her face is just that sort of like side look of why the fuck.
So to finish the
say that out loud.
River was being mortifyingly silent because she knows that there was a conversation going on that concerned someone who has now walked into the room and now she doesn't know what to do.
I was in the
middle of a thought.
So I suppose this is easier to explain if I and he fusses around inside his messenger bag and pulls out the portable theremin and starts setting it up. So, when you think about songs like old school, the oldest school, like oral traditions style, the songs are the message, right? People remember the song both in terms of sometimes it's melody, sometimes it's sheer force of sound, and sometimes it's in lyric choice and the meaning and the feeling behind the song. So winning the Soundclash is great. That would be amazing. I'm not quite sure what I would do, but
Yes, you and me being in the Soundclash sure would be interesting.
I think to part the curtain, I don't think Oliver is especially worried about talking about the fact that the band exists so much as Ava's personal reason why he's not elaborating on, because he has that much common sense. But the idea of people starting a band together is not the weirdest thing if it's a televised event, unless there is a law reason why Oliver should be cagier about that. And I don't think there is one. So yeah, he's not going to dance around the fact that we might start a band and play for people. Yeah, I don't know. I guess this is a noisy household in a good way, and I think that's kind of inspiring in the kind of roundabout way, if you get what I mean.
So Andrea sits up on like the kitchen counter nearby, and like she puts a piece of bubble gum in her mouth and is blowing bubbles, and pauses to ask just at the point where Oliver ends. So you're gonna start a band?
Yeah.
He's hoping.
River looks at Ava.
Wait, you're gonna join them, Ma?
Just something to.
Oliver grins but doesn't say anything.
Ava's gonna look at River like, what do you expect me to do? And then she's gonna look at Nakhmat and be like, I wanted to ask these three if they would look into a band with me. There's a Soundclash coming up. I used to be in band when I was younger, and I think that there was something harmonious yesterday. Wouldn't it be cool to see your mom on stage?
I mean, I guess, but it would depend on what you're making. Like most of the bands in these sound clashes are just doing like cookie cutter pop crap. Like that's not my jam, at least.
And,
I didn't know it was yours.
Well, going by the drumming you were hearing earlier, do you really think that's what we're going to be doing?
I mean, it sounds like you'll do it badly, but it still sounds like that.
I mean, there's a pretty easy way of finding out how well we synergize. If Ava would like to start up a beat again.
And keep in mind for future sessions, they do have an expert composer among us.
This is indeed true.
What is that look?
Ava looks very impressed towards Nakhmat because she thinks that that they're talking themselves up. If that's correct.
Yep, they are.
All right, sweet. Then she's just like, and she's gonna sort of walk over to the drums and like she kind of limbers up a little bit. It's probably a little embarrassing to Andrea, and she's just like, what you heard isn't what your mom does. And then she sits down and I think she starts like a like kind of I guess your basic kick snare beat.
Mm-hmm.
And sort of and like for just a few moments and then adding more aspects to it and becoming a little bit more complex, but not too much that people can't sort of join in and help her adapt to whatever they start.
Okay. So that is an action that will require a roll. What do you think you should roll?
I mean, it's just
I mean, what's useful in this moment, I think, is especially from the perspective not only as someone attempting to lay down a beat for a band, but also somebody communicating to the rest of these people about your intentions. I do believe direct would be useful here, and you do have 2 points in direct.
I'm about that.
So, are you nervous in this moment? Are you nervous as you do the thing?
I don't think so.
Nice.
I think there's a sort of like I think because there's a sort of thing where like Andrea complained about the noise and sort of like and there's sort of this thing of like no you don't understand. Like I get that you think that I'm your lame mother, but that doesn't mean that's all I ever was for you, sweetheart.
Mm-hmm.
So there's this sort of like air of confidence that she's entering in with.
Uh-huh. So would you say that you're trying to impress her then?
Yes. I'd probably say
Uh,
that.
okay. So that means that this is definitely risky.
Mhm.
But your effect is great. And now you get to roll a d12 or d20 plus 4.
Kind of worried about straining. But I also really want to get that stunning performance. I think I'm gonna go with a D20.
Okay. d20 plus 4.
Let's go roll 20. I think I used the wrong command.
I didn't see a thing happen.
Yeah, I think I used the wrong command. Wow.
um,
Hmm.
I mean, it's a minor success.
Yeah, it wasn't exactly what I was hoping for. Oh well.
It isn't, which I'm going to interpret right now in a very interesting way, which is so like there's this there's this additive quality to a drum beat where um everything sounds just like a little bit out of time, and like it isn't perfect and isn't complete, but the end result of it not being perfect and not being complete is that now you have this like really interesting kind of lo-fi hip-hop-esque drum beat going, and for a moment Andrea is like, this is this is this is gonna go terribly, please don't embarrass yourself, and then she's like, wow, that's actually dope. I did not know my mother could do this. And like she's like leaning in and listening to you now. And like her eyes are darting to the rest of you to figure out what if you're going to join in.
Well, at this point, Oliver already has their theremin set up. If we're going for songs where we can get improvisation on the drums, a jazz standard sounds like that would be a good fit. So, and then there's like a big exhale of air, like letting a surprising amount of tension go from his body. And the hair that he normally keeps out of his eyes kind of swoops back in, and his eyes almost dull over, like they lose some visible luster to them as he focuses entirely on performance and operation of this complex computer and instrument all in one. And I guess what's a good jazz standard? A Miles Davis joint, like All Blues or something like that.
The Miles Davis ones are always classics. We're trying to think what instruments we have as well, though, that we can like.
There is there's a decent amount of at least wiggle room in terms of
interpretation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
would say
I'm
so.
always I enjoy Kind of Blue if we want to do Miles Davis.
Cool.
Want
That
to go
sounds good.
Yeah. If we want to like do something that centers drums for Ava, we could do like an Art Blakely piece.
You have
Blakely.
some damn good music taste. Jesus.
I mean,
I love you all. But yes, continue.
yes. So I'm actually I'm a suggestion of Art Blakely is actually more appropriate if we want to go and have something that's drum led. Very good call. What from the jazz messages are we running? I will remember a specific standard from them in a second. Monin, there we go.
Monin is the classic one. Yeah. Can't go wrong with a classic.
And if it's a classic, it means that we can all, or at least go by ear if we all know it. So that seems like a sensible place. So yeah.
You're all jamming in this moment. So
so Oliver kind of works going with the kind of like piano lead, but on theremin instead, with the intent to, let's see. I would like to make a roll, but not yet. For now, I'm just playing. I would like everybody to be playing before I want to make a roll about anything.
Yeah, what instrument does Nachmat have?
That's a great question.
So this is a question that we have previously answered. I do not think so.
We've answered at least one instrument that they have. Last time I played the tabla, the Egyptian drum. I haven't decided like what her main instrument is. I had that because it was portable. I think the other portable instrument she carries with her is a ney, which is an Egyptian flute type instrument.
Can you spell that?
N-E-Y, I believe. Yeah, N-E-Y.
Okay.
It's not specifically Egyptian. It's Middle Eastern in general, Persian in some iterations. It's used across the region.
Cool. So do you have an A on you at this moment?
Yeah.
Cool. This in my head sounds like a brilliant jam. Oh my. Okay. Cool. River, what are you playing?
River, since it's portable, she like does play multiple instruments, but she mostly carries around her fiddle/violin. So she's going to take that out, and Katie doesn't know much about jazz, but I think plucking on it would fit in well with what's going on right now. Listening to the beats that Ava's playing and trying to find the gaps in what's going on, tried to get a cool like counter melody going on, so that when the melody comes in, it resonates even more.
Some big Sudan archives energy. Hell yeah.
So I'm willing to make a roll, and I'm thinking that's either compose, which is listed here as like an improvise a piece.
I do think, like,
or a tune for joining in with everybody.
Both of which are actually very good for all three of you in this moment. In fact, so whichever one works best for any one of you, you can make that individual roll and decide. But I'm going to say that right, for all of you, your position is risky, and your effect is, you know what? Yes, your effect is great. All of you, your position is risky and your effect is great for either of the rules that you take. So I just want to be sure which actions everyone is taking. Nachmat, what would you like to do?
I will do a compose.
Compose. So what die will you roll?
I will roll a d12 because I have a plus 4.
That's a d12 plus 4.
Okay.
River, what action will you take?
I'll take a tune, and I just heard the blip of Nachmat rolling, but I thought it would be important to note that since I am joining in a group action, straining rolls have no adverse effects.
This is indeed true. This does count as a group action. So if anyone does strain in this moment, they will not suffer any stress as a result of their straining, and like nothing will blow up.
Mhm.
So I will call everybody's results after I get all 3 rolls.
Yeah.
So
That's why I just rolled and stayed quiet. I'm waiting for
Okay.
okay,
if-
and Oliver, what action will you take?
Yes. So to specify the reason why I'm doing this, I would like to make an operate roll, which is specifically use of technology as instruments, but also after everybody starts playing and gets into what they're doing, Oliver connects a loop pedal to their theremin and gets the 16 bars for the melody that they're playing. And once that's set, wanders around the space with additional kind of like small mics that they have in their kit bag to try and mic up all instruments and check for balance. So we're actually doing some tech setup as part of this jam session is Oliver's specific goal. The entire time, dead in the eyes, they are absolutely focusing. And it's maybe actually kind of a little spooky, like he makes eye contact with Ava while she's on the drums, and you see nothing behind those eyes as he quietly and diligently sets up a mic there. I'm going to make a D20 roll because let's go for it.
Okay, and you said operate?
Operate, which I have a 1 in, so it's plus
Right,
2.
so that's +2.
1d20 plus 2. It's still bad. It's fine.
Okay.
Oh, that's a regular success.
That's a regular success. We're not going to die
Yeah,
today. It's
so
okay.
that means that Oliver and Katie have successes, and right, so Oliver and River have successes, and Nakhmat has a stunning performance,
Yeah.
which I am really excited about all of a sudden. That's actually really dope. So what happens in this moment? Well, obviously the thing sounds good. That first needs to be pointed out. What is the result of this performance now is this really it's not technically complex, but it sounds musically complex. The improvised composition that is being constructed in this moment. In particular, the way that Nakhmat's performance of the Ney leads into everything else and just like adds this unique kind of sonic flavor to what is otherwise electronica and drums is really, really interesting, and it interacts with River's plucking of the fiddle in a way that is like folksy but not like, how do I even explain that? Like folksy but not country, but like everything feels like it's coming from a different place. It sounds unique and interesting, and it flows perfectly. But like Andrea is having this moment as she's listening to it, like there's a moment when she's hearing it that she looks around the room where Oliver isn't moving, as if she thinks that sounds are coming from other places in the room, as if she feels like she's experiencing other experiences in this room as the song is playing.
To add to that a bit for our audience, and I think for everyone, because I'm not sure how many people are familiar with it, but for those who don't know, the ney is the flute that, like, if you've ever heard, like, you're kind of like, ooh, they're doing ancient Egyptian music, or like Prince of Persia soundtrack or whatever. The flute in that is the ney most often. It can do a mix of like haunting flute sounds and like sharper, more regular flute sounds. And so I think like Nakhmat is doing the like opening, but with like dragged out and a bit more haunting sounding to open it up.
So yeah, that, like, this I'm gonna say this goes on for like a few minutes.
Mm.
You're like moving into different movements very fluidly. Things are like this jam is perfect.
Yeah, there is
It's
sorry.
no,
Uh,
continue.
there is a point where once everybody is mic'd and levels are checked, and Oliver goes back behind his theremin again. And upon the confirmation that everybody is operating in perfect harmony, the eyes change again, and this time, living up to his name, they glitter like stars in deep space. Having achieved the harmony that he was looking for, the focus slips away into a pure flow state, as continuing to not really speak or to emote much aside from just their eyes glittering, continuing with the rest of the performance.
Hmm. So like there's a point as you're all jamming, like by the time you get back to your theremin and everybody's like doing their own thing, uh Andrea actually takes her phone out and starts recording all of you playing. And like that goes on. I'm gonna say that she gets a good minute and a half of you all playing.
Like a
um
TikTok.
yeah. And then there is a knock on the door.
There is the sound of when you pull out an aux cable part way, catching Oliver entirely by surprise, and the theremin stops working as a ding of it being pulled out part ways. Blinks a couple times. I stop sparkling.
Yeah.
What was that?
Like the squeaky string on the wrong like violin string noise is heard as well, as River just stops playing and looks at the door like, are we in trouble, like, kind of thing.
That was
Um,
actually music. And so like Ava's gonna stand up and head to the door.
okay. So you open the door, and Derek is waiting on the other side of the door, and like is looking at you, almost like not worried. He's a lot less sad than he looked the last time that you saw him, but he's still very jittery since the entire ordeal. He's like, um, I heard you were looking for me.
We still need to take a look in your brother's room to make sure that the police don't find anything.
Are you sure? Are you sure, like, that he might have been doing a thing? I don't want to think that he was one of those, I guess. I'm not, like, trying to talk down to anybody, but, like, are you really sure he had, like, contraband on him that I didn't know?
Derek, if he didn't, it'll be good to go through your brother's room and make a count of what it looks like right now and make sure that it's something that you have evidence that if these police come by, they don't plant anything on in your house.
Understood. And, like, as he's, like, tilting his head before he nods, he gets a good view of the rest of the uh, apartment behind you and sees everybody else at their instruments and like meekly waves at everybody. Hi, Andrea. Hi, folks. Are you all rehearsing for a thing?
I guess something like that. Yeah.
It's a start.
That's cool. I hear a Soundclash is coming up. That would be really dope to have someone from the Clefs probably make it big.
You think we could
Anyway,
make it big?
I mean, I heard a little bit from outside. I think that's actually kind of neat. but that's just my humble opinion. I guess I should head back to my apartment now. If you wanna help me, I don't know, tag things, I guess. Miss P, I'd like it if you like pass through.
Yeah,
We can definitely help.
Andrea,
Pops up.
take the chicken out of the freezer. We'll be right back.
Uh, like she rolls her eyes and pouts. Is like just when the music was getting good too, and like walks over to the fridge. Takes out the biggest chicken any of you have ever seen. And
The freezer.
no, like she literally just have to fight the freezer. And like that's when the door closes behind all of you as you're headed towards.
As we're headed out, I want to just yell to Andrea. So you do admit we were good?
Click. So yeah, and you head over to Derek's apartment that he shared with his twin brother. Which at this point in time, like you can tell when you get in who's like which one of them shared which space because it hasn't been touched. And one like for every individual room in this apartment that you can see as you enter, one portion of it is perfectly neat and orderly. Well, not perfectly neat, but looks like it's been in the state of someone who has attempted to put those things back together, and the rest are totally disheveled. You get the impression just by walking into this room that Derek has done very little in terms of both apartment care and self-care in quite some time. If anyone
What
wants
floor
to,
is this on?
this would have been on the same floor as the anomaly, which is, if I'm not mistaken, the fourth floor. So yeah, if you want to gain any more information about this room or do anything else, you can do a roll for that. And Derek otherwise is just kind of like idly walking over to a bookshelf near the living room, and like the bookshelf, you can see on the bookshelf a combination of what look like heavy large like reference texts like encyclopedias and stuff like that that are bookending uh vinyl records, but you can't see any of the names of the records that are on the shelf.
That's quite a collection of records. Probably one of the largest I've seen in a while, actually.
Yeah. Like some of these are like non-music recordings that my brother made like when he was like just got into university, and the others are like just collecting what's pop, I guess. He doesn't really listen to much of it. They're just kind of, he likes to show off, I guess.
He pressed his own vinyl. That's so impressive.
Yeah, he had a friend of his north of the Clefs does like if you ask, he will press like a vinyl demo for you for no real reason. Like he and his friends used to like go out of their way to just record cool noises and put them on a 45 for no real reason.
I mean, some of the earliest records were just filled with sound effects used in TV and film, so that makes sense. I shouldn't get distracted. I'm sorry. No,
it's fine. Like, if he were here, he'd be showing off about it. So,
I'd be actually the music tech nerd in Oliver comes out just a little bit, and is like, I'd actually love to see the record player that he uses. Actually,
it should be. Let me look in one of the back rooms, and he steps out into what looks like In your apartment, Ava, the room that he enters looks like the washroom. And he closes the door.
Oh, okay, cool. I was going to say, like, Oliver follows, looks over his shoulder meaningfully at the other three, being like, the opportunity has arisen. But if he's going to shut the door, I guess Oliver walks into a very quickly shut door and goes, "Oh, okay then."
So yeah, you have the rest of the apartment presently to yourselves until he returns. Does anyone want to do a thing or look for a thing?
The last time we played music yesterday, I got a sense of a melody,
Mm-hmm.
and
You heard the signal.
I heard the signal, and I kind of want to feel for it here. I'm sure, and I'm unsure, like I'm unsure how it manifests beyond like if like she has this suspicion that's been sort of growing in her that like if there is something here, she feels like it might be connected to the signal. And since she heard it in its entirety, and even though she can't really sort of think of it like in its entirety, I think she sort of, I guess, I feel like she wants to feel for it, I guess.
Okay. So, excuse me. There is an action for that. Unless you have, do you have an action in mind that you think would be useful in this moment?
I don't have any special abilities or hums that would go for this. I was thinking that it could possibly be a tune, or potentially even observe.
Observe might work, but I will let you know that a tune would definitely help. And you have 2 points in a tune. I will say that your position is desperate and your effect is controlled.
Okay.
And you may roll a d12 or d20 plus 4.
Let's try. There we go.
A 16.
Almost awful.
A 16, if I'm not mistaken, is a stunning performance.
Right.
How many people in this room still have at least one of the crystals that appeared from the portal when you closed it?
I think the other 3 of us are the ones who each have one.
Okay.
Oliver has the one that might have gone to Ava. So, I think Oliver has 2.
Right, Oliver, do you have?
Nachma has 2. I have 1.
Right. So Oliver, where is yours?
Oh, it's in the kind of like musician tech case that he kind of carries with him as a messenger bag. So it would be in the same place that he keeps his theremin and his music tech equipment.
Isn't that still in the other room?
Yeah. I guess we didn't necessarily pick that up and take it with.
Duly noted. River, where is yours?
Guess it would have been in my bag too, which means it's not on my person.
Okay. Nachmat, where are the 2 that you have?
One in my pocket, one probably like in my messenger bag.
And your messenger bag is also in the other room.
I don't think I take it off. Like I personally don't take off my messenger bag when I go anywhere.
This is going to be fun. So you, I mean, first I should ask Ava, how do you What do you physically do in order to attune for this moment?
I think I think while they're waiting for Derek to return, she sort of like leans against like a wall and closes her eyes, and she hums a little tunelessly, sort of like trying to recall the signal, trying to remember the song, even
Hmm.
because it doesn't really stay when she when you want it to. And I again I think she's just got her eyes closed. If there's any manifestation of the magic, she doesn't see it. But I think there might even be sort of like a glow begin around. I think around sort of like maybe around her face, like closer to where her ears are.
Hmm. Right. So these are the things that happen. Um, Ava's eyes are closed in this moment. So Ava does not see what anybody who is looking in Ava's direction would see. A thing that um most people your age, in fact most living people at this point in time, have never actually literally seen. A thing that has only been seen by people who were so close to the epicenter of the drop the very first time that magic entered this world, that they would have been the only folks who would have seen it. And that is, for a brief moment, um, there is a kind of silverish halo that appears behind Ava, and then it fades away, and then you see um like gold. You see like what look like letters or symbols in an ancient language fade out of gold and silver as they appear in a ring behind Ava's head. And behind those symbols, you see what look like clouds that are constantly changing between various dark hues of various colors, shifting from red, from purple to green, and so forth. Um, as that happens, you all hear three very large thuds from the roof, from like the ceiling of this apartment building. You hear
Huh?
it again. You hear it one more time, and then um the two crystals that are still in the other apartment building pierce through the drop ceiling of this apartment building,
Ah!
and like at their angle they shoot right through like the very top right corner of the bookshelf that you were just looking at. And at that exact same moment, the one that is in um Nakmat's pocket and the one that is in Nakmat's messenger bag like lift out, meet each other at their topmost tips, and then face the other two. Um the other two like shove themselves out of the wood of this like prefab IKEA
Yeah.
bookshelf and
As Oliver
face
rushes over to stop the bookshelf from falling over with it being
and like
drilled through.
they come out into the air and face the other two, and while that is happening you hear Derek in the still closed room going, "What was that?"
Uh, um, uh, I think we left some of the equipment upstairs on. We left in a hurry. Sorry.
Nachmar is immediately pulling out like book, pen, writing stuff down, flipping through my own notes to see if there's anything at all that can explain what the fuck is going on.
Oliver turns to River and mouths like, "Help me," as he's trying to right the bookshelf by himself.
River runs over to help you out. She was distracted by the ceiling holes, but now there's a distraction.
How big
Ver-
are the holes in the ceiling, Brandon? Because that's really unfortunate right now.
Right, so that's the thing, right? They are like from the drop ceiling going all the way through. They at the point that is closest to you all in the ceiling of this room, they are roughly the size of bullet holes, but you can very clearly see because in fact, are your eyes open when this happens, Ava?
Oh, when there's the noise of something piercing through, yeah, her
Right.
eyes bust open.
If you are looking through the hole, you can see Andrea's whole head looking back down at you, because at the point where this is emerging from the floor of the
my apartment?
the floor above, there is enough space there for like you could put a whole watermelon in there. You could put a whole watermelon in the hole.
Oh
That's
my
how big the hole
God.
is on the other side.
River is
And
very
like
worried
Andrea
about
is looking
her,
down at you like, what the fuck?
like fiddle case. Which is where it
While
was before.
that's happening, all of these 4 crystals are now spinning very insistently in a small circle that is slowly getting wider. And then it stops getting wider at a point, but it's still spinning very insistently and is like buzzing all around the room.
Can I try and grab it?
I mean, as with all things you can try, would you like to roll for something?
I think Ava's initial reaction of panic is that like she's not gonna lie to Derek. This is his apartment and that's her apartment, and she's like, Derek, something strange is happening, and I think she's gonna try and leap and grab the crystals to try and keep them from moving around still.
Okay.
How fast are those crystals moving, OGM?
What is a good comparison?
On a scale of ceiling fan to centrifuge, how fast are these things moving?
Oh yeah, this is moving like a jet engine turbine. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Our
Do you
vanilla
still
runs
have a bat?
like a hadron collider, and it is in fact moving that close.
I'm gonna script change. I'm gonna pull it back with like physically grabbing, and I think she's got like a cardigan, because like teachers have cardigans. That's a thing.
Yes.
I have a cardigan, and I think she's gonna take it off, and I think she's gonna try and catch it. I think she's gonna try and just catch it.
Okay, that seems to me like something close to like a scuffle roll or something like that. What do you think? What do you think works best here?
Yeah, I think I can do a scuffle roll.
Okay.
Or what, like, could I make the argument that potentially? Nah, I don't think that'll work.
No, I want to hear the argument though.
Using make way, because it's like block or push back and obstruction, and I'm just like, this is obstructing our fucking lives right now, because it's just flying around like crazy, and so I can technically use make way to push myself to like try and control this. But I feel like that might be stretching it a little bit too far. But I'm a weasel. I'm gonna mention it anyway.
Yes, you should always ask these questions. So I am going to say that you can definitely use make way in this instance, but it doesn't give you the like. Whereas, like, if you were dealing with like people or a physical obstruction, it would possibly give you the opportunity to move this object. This is only giving you the ability to keep this object still. Like these crystals are still moving, but you are essentially holding your body against these swiftly moving crystals in such a way that they are not now moving behind you.
And I think
but
at that
they're
point,
still moving.
yeah, I think
and
at that point she's like, sorry, she's like, River, Nachmet, Oliver, what do we do with this shit?
That is a great question.
Oh God, that came from upstairs, didn't it? I should probably
Also-
go check. Excuse me. Mhm, go
Also, I
ahead.
just want to be clear about the to point out that since you have pushed yourself, mark 2 stress.
Got it.
Yes.
I would like to roll a study to see if I can help answer what should we do about that with the various stuff I know about noise and the crystal studies from earlier.
This might be okay. Cool. Right. So study. Okay. You. Your position is desperate. Your effect is controlled. Standard. I mean.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Okay.
This is fun. We're having fun, folks.
Action. Get some XP.
All right, that's one. I'm gonna roll a d20.
Okay. So that's a d20 plus 2.
That is an 18. So that looped over into strain, which makes
Huh. Right.
So
this is what happens. You make an observation like so suddenly. You like determine that there is a way that you can like test the nature of this anomaly that requires you to reach back into your messenger bag for like one of your tools, and it falls out of the hole that the crystal has now made in your messenger bag. Like 2 very large, very sharp and pointy tuning forks fall out of your bag, fork first. And the sound of them hitting the ground makes everyone in this room feel very briefly like time has stopped. But y'all can still see these crystals moving at god high speed. And then the crystals shrink in for their circle again. Zip past Ava to the left, zip past Ava to the back, and then point all very decisively at Derek's bed. And you can see each individual crystal start spinning very rapidly in the air.
right. Well, I'm not gonna say I fixed it, but it's doing
I don't
something.
care for this situation. I don't like this.
I was going to go upstairs to check if our stuff was broken, but that looks like it's about to drill through someone's bed. So, and Oliver goes to start to try and like, can somebody help me move the stuff before we wreck more property?
Here's the thing about start to try. That experience of being frozen in time is such that all of you can hear yourselves speaking to each other in real time, but when you look at each other, your lips are not moving, and you cannot move.
Hey, are any of you telekinetic and want to let us know now? This will be the perfect time to reveal that.
Oliver genuinely tries, just kind of like the like Matilda, just thinking like move. Nothing clearly happens, but you probably, if we're all in a telepathic state, probably hear Oliver's thoughts of trying to get the bed to move with their mind and failing. It's very embarrassing. No, doesn't seem to be working.
Yeah. Um, the first person to like find themselves like coming out of that state of stasis is Ava, who I will still note, by the way, that halo and the appearance of clouds still there.
Is anyone okay? Cool. I feel like maybe I don't. Am I noticing this light since it's kind of behind my head?
You
Or
don't notice anything. Everyone else can see it. Like it's moving
Mhm.
with your head the way like those like holographic cards and stuff move. But like you can't see it. It's not attached to you per se. It's attached to everyone else's perception of you in this moment.
which is wild. I think
You've got something on your visage.
You're glowing? And not like you're pregnant glowing, just glowing, glowing.
I don't have time to unpack all of that, and I think she's gonna, if it's pointing at the bed, I think she's gonna. I think if it if it's pointing, I think she wants to sort of like rush forward and see what might be there. I think there's a sort of like mom instinct that comes over her, and she's just like, "There's something under this bed."
As with all things, there's always something under someone's bed. Um, do you need to roll an action for this? I'm going to say that there is an action that you should roll to get past these crystals at the very least.
Okay.
What would you like to roll?
So if it's um, so I'm thinking it's kind of like that. Like, you ever see those videos of like parents reacting fast to danger when their
Mhm.
children are in danger? It's kind of like those instincts. So I'm
Mhm.
thinking potentially scuffle.
Yeah,
Um,
scuffle would make sense in this instance, I think.
mhm. Like either scuffle or finesse.
Finesse would definitely make sense in this instance.
Mhm.
Um, finesse is more like you like gracefully but swiftly making sure that you get out of the way of these crystals, and scuffle is like you attempting to dive over them.
Mm.
Which I think
Essentially.
is more of what might be happening. So
Okay, fair
I think
enough.
scuffle makes more sense on that one.
Okay,
All
so
right.
that means your position is desperate.
Ooh, I love XP.
And your effect is great.
All right, sweet. I feel like this is pretty high stakes, so I'm gonna go for a D20 and hope for not going too high.
Mm.
Instead, it was super low, but it's still a mixed success, y'all.
Okay. Um right. So as you it's like essentially take this like running jump past these crystals, you notice two very distinct things as you get close to them. One is in the jump, you like miss your footing just enough that if you had started that jump a little late, one of those crystals would have probably cut straight through your shoes or slippers and straight through your foot, but you barely missed that. And the second thing is, you can hear the crystals respond to you getting closer to them. And it obviously sounds audibly like a very fast jet turbine, or like someone unnecessarily accelerating a car that is not going anywhere.
A high sort
Um
of whine.
yeah, but you like a part of you hears it and it sounds like to you the crystals are growling at you. But you get to the bed and like as you like collide with the bed, something shifts out from beneath it. It looks like a flat, greenish, kind of like cardboard.
I think she just grabs at it and is just like, is this it? What is this?
Okay. You shift it out from the bed. All of the crystals immediately point at it. And at the moment that they jerk and turn and face at it, everybody else can now suddenly move. In your hand, Ava, is a vinyl record. Is a sleeve for a vinyl record. The name of this band is Werewolf. And the name of the single that is on this record is Have Hope.
So,
Is that connected to the noise?
Did the crystal stop moving?
Oh, the crystals are still moving. They're still moving. Just they're still whizzing. They're still rotating very intensely in the air. They just now cannot take their eyes off of this record.
I'm writing down notes about everything that's happening, but while that's happening, I'm also just casually going, so I'm willing to bet an entire Soundclash reward. That's the contraband.
So there's been the thought that I guess both in and out of character has been running through my mind for a little bit when I started asking about records. At this point, has the other brother kind of like seen what the absolute heck is going on in their apartment right now? Because if he has fetched the record player, I would like to borrow it.
He hasn't emerged yet.
And Oliver is starting to knock and then pound with increasing urgency on this closet door. Things are complicated. We probably need you out here.
Okay. You hear like a lot of shuffling in the other room, and he pokes his head out, and like is looking at you all in this state of disarray. As the door opens, you can hear like Andrea from the floor above, like, "Que demonios?" And like at that moment, like while you're still looking at the sleeve of this record, Ava, you can hear the signal again. And it sounds like it's coming from somewhere in this room.
Can I sense the direction? Can I sort of like?
Oh yeah, you get it. You like it's roughly coming from behind you.
I think she's trying to protect this record because she doesn't understand why, but she's trying to protect this record, and she's gonna turn her back on the crystals, which I think is a super bad idea. But I think Ava's gonna whip around to try and see what's making the signal.
Oh, it's the crystals that are making the signal. And you are looking at them right now, and they have turned from perfect black obsidian to perfect powder blue.
Can you guys hear that? Sorry.
And just as you say that, just as you ask them if they notice that, that's the final image that I'm going to leave everyone with in this session.
Absolutely. Snaps. Nice.
Oh my goodness. This was a lot of fun. One, I'm really glad that I'm playing with folks that know jazz.
A
Um,
limited amount, but not
Uh,
zero.
I have
And-
difficulty processing song lyrics unless I know the song really well. So I listen to a lot of jazz and other instrumental music.
you will have good taste.
I was in jazz band.
Nice. Also, we got to I got to do more wild stuff, you guys.
Yeah.
Not only did we finally discover this record, but we discovered it in the most hostile manner.
Hey, I was enamored with the idea of this system on the conceit of musical chaos magic. So that is being provided is exactly what I am here for. So very good. Thank you very much.
There are holes in the ceiling.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's a problem.
Yeah.
Hard to
The
spackle
tenant
that.
association is gonna ask someone some questions.
Where's the deposit?
So how does everyone feel about this session?
Great.
Feeling good.
Good.
The stakes are officially raised.
Indeed. Not only are you now asking questions about the Soundclash and your efficacy within them, but you have just discovered that a crime is in this apartment building, which is obviously going to raise the stakes a great deal.
Mhm.
So I'm really looking forward to our next session now. Until then, there have been some XP points gained by desperate rolls that we will definitely discuss off screen. And yeah, all that's left to do, I think, this session is for each of you to introduce yourselves and tell all the lovely people in chat where they can find you. Starting with Valeria.
All right, guys, just like I said before, I'm Valeria Vicencio. You can find me at Villain Vicencio on Twitter, where you can hear about my new projects. Working on a couple different. I've been inspired by Brandon to work on a Forge in the Dark game, which is really intense. So that's coming out in the works. It's slow, but it's coming, and as well as a 2-player game about immortality that you should be able to look at within the next 2 weeks. So it's really fun, and otherwise you can hear me weekly on Kingdom Hearts: of Forgotten Era, which is an actual play podcast using the interstitial system by Riley Hopkins. You can find me on Utopia some Thursdays. It's an all BIMPOC Twitch channel. It's really fantastic. As well as on Off the Table every other Wednesday, playing in a Monster of the Week campaign with Russ Wild. It's getting really intense to like the point of like tears in session. So like if you guys want to watch those VODs, it's really fantastic, very fun. And that's me, guys.
Nice. Next, Nathan.
Hi, hello. I'm Nathan Blades, the official thought standing for that Hadron Collider over there on this channel. You can also find me at the Neon Caster on Twitch, where we stream a wide variety of indie RPGs. We are currently doing a campaign set in City of Mist. The most recent episode for that we recorded this Friday, so it's available to go watch. We did a live Tara reading and invented scenes based on that as we went. It's sick as hell. Please watch it. If you would like to go and tell me what your favorite jazz standards are, you can hit me up on Twitter at PhantomArtsEnt, PhantomArtsEnt. That's me.
Nice. Next, Katie.
Hello, everyone. I'm Katie Chin. I've been River Song for you tonight. You can find me on Twitter at Katie Peak, like Mountain Peak, where I sometimes tweet. Not very much, but who knows? I also voice Grace Chen on Balin's podcast, an urban fantasy audio drama. And one new thing that's happening, podcast movement virtual is coming up. And I am a moderator on a panel called Yes and Storytelling in RPGs, I believe it's called. Um, yes and Storytelling in a Gamified Setting with speakers Jeff Stormer of Party of One podcast and Brandon Leon Gambetta, I hope I said that right, of Stop Hack and Roll Podcast Network fame. So if you're going to the virtual podcast movement, be sure to check out that panel.
Nice. And last but not least, Amor.
Hey, I'm Amr Amaraz. You can find me everywhere on the internet at Amaraz, including my Twitter. It's sort of primary hub for everything I do. If you enjoy my streaming presence, you can catch me this coming Friday and every other Friday for the next couple of weeks doing Chimera over on the Utopia channel, which is a mixed genre games of fantasy and superheroes with an all-bin podcast set in a sky archipelago over a flooded planet. Uh, there is a story of demigods and superheroes in a world where examining sort of what it means for someone to be a villain and what causes villainy and evil and the like. And if that at all sounds interesting to you, I'm also doing game writing for a currently active Kickstarter for Thirsty Sword Lesbians. I am currently writing a stretch goal that funded yesterday about super scientist sapphic superheroes, which is a mouthful to say, but it's very fun. And a focus on what it looks like to use science to be a superhero for both harm reduction and betterment of your communities. Uh, Other than that, you can currently catch my voice on the Tabletop podcast, where we are playing through Iron Swarm, and I am playing there as a very lovable Vembo dolphin, anthropomorphic dolphin person. And also on the Moon Harbor Extended podcast, where I'm playing masks. Yeah, that's about it for now.
Nice. And I do want to, because I see that Arvan Eleron has already mentioned in chat that Thirsty Sword Lesbians is also has a game coming up being GM'd by Little Red Dot. So yeah, one of the things that I really want to stress tonight, as it is something that's important to me as a GM, as a player, as a creator of tabletop games. Please support all of the other wonderful tabletop work that all of the cast of this game is doing. All of it is dope. It's all rad. It's not only more tabletop content for you to consume, but when you support uh, marginalized creators in the tabletop space and raise them up and make sure that they remain visible in this space, you're not only doing the marginalized communities in the tabletop space a service, you're doing tabletop a service, because our voices are important and we're doing rad stuff out here, and you can get to experience those things whenever you want. So I am Brandon O'Brien. I am a writer, poet, game designer. The game that you have just seen, Soundclash, which is a hack of Blades in the Dark, is a project being worked on by me. And I'd like it very much if you supported my work by following me wherever you can find me on social media at The Rising Tides, twitter.com/The Rising Tides, twitch.tv/The Rising Tides _. And I stream here almost every Sunday. I GM this game of Soundclash, the Clampdown, every fortnight. And once a month, I also GM the Speculate mini-series co-stream, the Blaze in the Dark game, The Case of the Cindered Seal, the next session of which is actually next week Sunday. So I'd really like it if you passed through next week Sunday and joined us for that as well. And with that, I think, in fact, no, I've forgotten a thing for which Greg will eventually emerge as well, which is the reminder that next month, November the 22nd, we will be having a fundraiser stream in order to raise funds for future streams of Soundclash the Clampdown. If you want to probably hear some snazzy intro music that has the same kind of punk rock feel that we want this game to have, this is your opportunity to help grow the look and feel of this game. And for that fundraiser stream, I will be gathering with a great deal of wonderful players and guests, including the cast of Soundclash the Clampdown, to talk about music, talk about tabletop RPGs, and play a handful of really neat games, some of which might actually also be games that I've worked on. That might be cool. So I'd really like it if you passed through November the 22nd um, for our Soundclash the Clampdown fundraiser stream. And I think that's it. So we can now summon Greg to do all of the other things that need to be done. Everybody, please give Greg your energy.
Oh, thank you. I accept all energy. I did want to note, just for the record, that as a professor myself, cardigans do stop hadron colliders. So I want that to be clear that that does happen. And because all teachers do want a cardigan. That's 100% true.
I didn't know you had experience in that regard.
Yeah, no, well, listen, I don't like to talk
hadron
about it much, Brandon. You know, like, I don't want to talk up my ability to stop hadron colliders with cardigans, but if that's what it's all about. No, this was a great session. It was a lot of fun to watch. I was actually signing Icarus books, because I know Garlic Tofu from Mathis Hearts was in here. So I was signing Icarus hardcovers while watching and loving everyone's contributions, and especially the jazz stuff. Please, more of all of that. They're just like, which Miles Davis album? I'm like, yes, not should we do them, but which album should we do of Miles? Like, that was the best. Anyway, it was a lot of fun.
So what you're saying is, if I wanted to do another mini campaign of Soundclash, that band could be jazz, and that you would be equally willing to host.
I would be equally willing. Yes. Yeah. I grew up playing and loving jazz, so yes. I am on board. I was hoping we could get like some Wayne Shorter. We get some fusion in there. I was just like, yeah. Anyway, it was really sweet. I really enjoyed this session, and I hope the chat did as well. And yes, what Brandon said about the November 22nd fundraiser, please do not forget about that. I am going to close up shop and let these fine people go, because some of you are up at some ungodly hour in the morning because of time zones. So thank you to everyone. Yeah, exactly. Thanks though, Nathan, for sticking with it nonetheless. But I appreciate it from everyone. Great session today. Chat, can we get some love for the wonderful players and for our wonderful GM and game designer, Brandon? Thank you all. We will see you back here in a few weeks. And Brandon, I will see you next week, back here next Sunday. Bye for now, all.
Toodaloo, fam.
Bye-bye. All righty. And that, folks, is going to do it for this evening, he said, as he went over and looked to see where the logo was, and there's the logo, and then went over to find the other thing that was there, and there's the other thing that was there, and then he finally transitions over. There we go. Folks, this was a lot of fun. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you had a good time, as much as I did, as I was kind of listening and getting into that stuff. It was a really good time. And I was literally sealing up boxes as we speak of these hardcovers. I want you to know, those of you who get one of these hardcover Icaruses, that every single one of these was signed with my my Adventures of Middle-earth pen that was created by Kerflop. So I want you all to know that is the case. But this was a lot of fun, and I really enjoyed it. And thank you to the wonderful cast again for a wonderful session. I'm going to see you lovely folks back here, I hope, tomorrow evening, Monday evening at 7 p.m. Eastern, when Saad will be back with a Grumbler's Guide. In fact, I just realized I better put this change stream title. There we go. So that I can make sure that it's all set for tomorrow. So 7 p.m. Eastern tomorrow for a Grumbler's Guide to the Temple of Elemental Evil. So it's going to be a good time. Then on Tuesday, we have Adventures of Middle-earth at noon Eastern, which is going to be great. That campaign is obviously just picked up in intensity. The return, the rip, rest in peace, Kelda, our seamstress, who sadly lost her life, and they must get vengeance against the dreadful bandits that did this to her and find out the deeper conspiracy. It's going to be awesome. But anyway, so they've got that. Then at 4 p.m. Eastern, I have D&D with GOG Storm King's Thunder, so I've got that going on over on GOG. And then Wednesday night, we have Community D&D. I hope Shadowed is feeling better, but we should, if all goes well, have Community D&D at 9 p.m. Eastern with Trisha Matz, who I see is in chat, and Rock God, and Hoodie, and of course Echo Alpha _X5. We will have all of those people, along with Shadow Mage as your DM for Dragon of Ice Spire Peak. That'll be Wednesday evening at 9 p.m. Eastern. Thursday will be off. Friday at 8:30 p.m. we have Esper Genesis, the next session there. And then Saturday we have got more of Final Fantasy VII Remake. So we've got a good, really good week ahead of us for a lot of different kinds of play. And yeah, make sure that you mark that calendar as well. In addition to what everyone else talked about these things, just one last mention this evening of this, the Ethos Arts Kickstarter for the In the Moment anthology. I noticed that we got another couple of folks that are on there. So it's at 45.63. It's getting there, but there are 10 days to go, and it's got a long way to go before funding. So hopefully people can jump on board and support it. I think it's not only a good but an important anthology, and that's why I've been talking it up a little bit here on this channel. But otherwise, we are going to get on out of here. I think I am going to do a raid, and I have a person that I have in mind that I'm going to raid. But before we go there, I do want to remind everybody about ways to support the stream. And of course, Brandon, Rising Tides, is actually in that anthology. But I do want to remind everybody, please follow the channel if you haven't done so already. Check out the YouTube with !ArvTube, Discord with !ArvCord, and Twitter with !ArvTweets. And please spread the word about all of these things. I know that at the moment, everybody is oversaturated, and it seems like everyone's like, spread the word about this, spread the word about that. I understand that that can get difficult. But if you're able to find your time to spread the word, it would be appreciated, because really, one of the things that we want to be able to do is to build our audience, to grow our audience, get more people in here, and to kind of build this community. And we love everyone who's able to come by, but the more people of that like that we can get, just the more the merrier of those kind of people. I think there's an audience out there that's looking for the kind of content we provide here, and I'm hoping that we can share it with them by letting them know. So please consider jumping on board, and also by spreading the word about this channel, this show, and all other shows that you happen to like as well, that we run here. That would be very much appreciated. All of that can be found on my website, arvanelleron.com. Yeah, that's a good point, Lone Wolf. Spread the word on all the things. That's a good call. We need like the spread the, or the spread the word emote, something like that. As far as financial stuff is concerned, !Arv Shop is the merchandise area where you can check out stuff for Adventures of Middle-earth and for the Infinity and Beyond crew, currently playing Curse of Strahd. And don't forget, end of the month is the conclusion of the Curse of Strahd campaign. Then we've got !Arv Treon, that is the Patreon right there, with 22 patrons, $2.39 per month. We want to keep clicking that upwards because it allows me to put money back into the channel and do things like buy the game that I bought the other day for Final Fantasy VII Remake and stuff like that. Those are things that are able to happen because of that, and it also allows me to make introduction videos. I commissioned the Soundclash overlay that you see and all that stuff, so that helps by having the support there. So if you are supporting it already, thank you, and if not, please consider doing so. You can get cool stuff for yourself and cool stuff for the channel as we push onward and upward to hopefully another Talisman tournament, to an Arvanaut Idol. That would be 4, I think, is what it would be, the writing contest. So all of that is super helpful as well. Very, very cool. Keep the frequency, rock on and keep the frequency in your heart. That's a good logo, a good slogan. I love it, Rising Tides. Anyway, so there's that. And then you've got as well the sub button, which a couple of people used at the beginning of the channel, that beginning of the stream. That really helps. You can get those custom sub badges and emotes to use here, there, and everywhere across Twitch. So if you're able to do that, would be appreciated. And you can also get inspirations to help the players with both that and with the Patreon. On the publishing side, Icarus for details about my Icarus graphic novels. Again, retail release of that is November 10th. Very excited about those. Super happy about the way these books came out, and I really hope that the audience, that it reaches the audience we hope for, even beyond the Kickstarter buyers, because I think these are good books and they're worth reading and worth looking at. So I hope that we can continue to go onward and upward with that. Retail release November 10th. Library Tales and Tomes from the Forbidden Library from Alligator Alley Entertainment, my 5e adventure and source book with contributions from many notables across the gaming industry. Super excited for the print release of that, which should be any day now, really. So I'm very excited about that. The Alligator Alley people will also be working on the Greyshade RPG, which will be a part of the Greyshade KS Greyshade Kickstarter, which is launching February 2nd of 2021. So we got a lot of stuff going on. Super excited about sharing all of that with you. Last but certainly not least, BLM, Black Lives Matter. We've talked quite a bit about the importance of this, about the significance of supporting Black lives and acknowledging the importance of recognizing that Black Lives Matter. And that is a link that allows you to look at educational resources, talking about political advocacy, details on being an effective protester, even stuff like that. And of course, being able to provide financial resources as well to be able to donate to causes that support !BLM. And !Vote Now will allow you to be registered to vote, to make sure that you have a plan to vote and get it in place, because this Tuesday we are 2 weeks away from the election. Day after tomorrow, we will have 2 weeks left before we hopefully turn the tide on fascism and sadism and just despair and start moving back in a more just and fair and free direction. And even if you're not U.S. citizens, the U.S., which has an outsized importance in the world, unfortunately, sometimes, there's a lot riding on this election. And so if you're a U.S. citizen, make sure you're registered to vote, have a plan to vote as soon as you can. If you're not a U.S. citizen and you know U.S. citizens who are thinking about sitting this one out, please prevail on them to not sit this one out. No one can sit this one out. We all have to be there. Because this is the most important election we've had in a very, very long time. So we need everybody, all hands on deck, as they say. Otherwise, don't forget to check out that anthology again, as I already talked about with Athos, to look at this In the Moment anthology. I want to thank my wonderful viewers. I want to thank Crit Twitch, Lone Wolf, Trishy Metz. I want to thank my wonderful subscribers, Crit Twitch, Lone Wolf, and Trishy Metz, who are here tonight. Thank you to Amraz, Commander Root. Thank you to Fee Pokanen. Thank you to Garlic Tofu. Thank you to Gorgar. Thank you to Idli Hara. Thank you to Light and Passion, to Lurks. Thank you to Mrs. Dunsel. Thank you to Sticker Glue. Thank you so much to the Rising Tides. And thank you to you, Christensen. And last but certainly not least, thank you so much to the wonderful players and GM tonight for their wonderful session and for entertaining all of you. We are going to do a raid, as I say. These are usually pretty quick. This one is going to be like this. If you are not a sub, you're going to do that. The Arvanauts have landed, followed by Twitch raid. If you are a sub, you're going to do this. The Arvanauts have landed, and then you've got Arvany Hype, Arvany Roar, and you've got Twitch raid. You can also throw in Arvany Woe, Arvany Love, Arvany Smug, Arvany Witch. You can throw those other emotes in there as well when you are automatically brought over to the channel that we're going to go to in just a minute. So many thanks again to everyone for watching. I'm going to see you folks next here tomorrow at 7 p.m. Eastern for Sod and a Grumbler's Guide to the Temple of Elemental Evil. Until then, everyone, be good to each other. Have a good night.